Hi everyone, welcome to Flow and Restore or Yin and Yang Yoga. This is Luke, he'll be assisting today. Come on down into child's pose to start, so you can bring your inner edges of your feet to touch, and if you want to rest your forehead on top of a prop, you can use a blanket or whatever you might have. And then rest your arms wherever you like. Just allow a moment here to pause, check in with yourself, your body, your mind. So as we develop a consistent long-term practice of yoga, we sharpen the skill to really tune into the subtler layers of self, knowing that the practice of 8 limbs of yoga is only 1/8 a physical practice, and the rest of it is a lot to do with our awareness in our inner practices. And so here we're in about the last day or so of spring 2021, and I invite you to just pause a moment and feel or reflect on how you might choose to close this season, as we can use seasons as a turning page, a time to just pause and reflect upon what's been cultivated in our lives, what we've paid attention to, the habits that we've developed, and how they've been working for us. And so in the practice of mindfulness, just like we do in transitioning from pose to pose in physical yoga, is much about being aware of, what do I want to step forward with? Or what am I ready to begin to let go of in the yogic practice of aparajita? Just observing what has served you well and what no longer does. And with that, let's begin to deepen the breath where you are. As you might notice parts of your body that might be holding tension or feeling energetically congested, you might visualize breathing into those parts right now as you deepen the breath. And then allowing any sound that may want to release to your mouth as you exhale. Now let's try that a few more times. Maybe even lingering at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath, a few seconds of pause. And then just setting an intention perhaps, or dedicating the efforts you put into this practice to something meaningful for you. Let's do that by chanting 1 Om. Take a deep inhale. And then invite you to lengthen your breath in and out through your nose if that's available to you. Easing into Ujjayi Pranayama, where you create a soft whispering sound by gently narrowing the back of your throat. Balancing inhale as slowly as exhale. And let's take that into movement, separating your feet hips distance apart. Gliding forward on an inhalation, begin to coil your chest up into cow pose. And as you exhale, contracting your belly into cat pose, dropping your head to round. We'll take a few more cycles here as you slow the breath down, synchronizing your movement as slowly as the breath. As you keep undulating your spine here, feel your palms Spreading your fingers brightly. Parallel your index fingers so they're both pointing forward. And then on your next exhalation, tucking your toes. With bent knees, lift your hips high and back into downward facing dog. And just allowing a few breaths there to maybe pedal your feet in place and start to warm up the backs of your legs. Maybe shake and nod your head while lifting your shoulders up away from your neck. Find some space across your shoulders too by rotating your triceps or outer upper arms towards the ground. And let's start to hold still here, rooting through finger spread, lifting the sitting bones high and back, and drawing your weight down the backs of your legs through your heels. As you look at your feet, notice that you cannot see the inner edges of your heels as you parallel your feet hips width apart. And then drawing the navel in, 2 more cycles of Ujjayi breath and downward dog. So the first half of this hour and 10-minute class is a vinyasa flow. Let's start the first sequence of flowing by just establishing the route slowly. So from downward facing dog, turning out your right thigh at the hip, flex your right foot and cross the ankle over your left thigh like a figure 4 shape. Call this figure 4 downward dog. And as you press down through your palms, lift your sitting bones as evenly high and back as you can while drawing your navel in and relaxing your neck. Let's take a couple of breaths just to feel this posture. Take another inhale here. And now as you exhale, round through plank and tap your right knee outside of your right upper arm towards your tricep, very softly stepping the foot forward outside of your right hand. So you're in a high lunge, and as your hands are on the inside of your right foot, you may want to prop them on blocks if you're feeling that your shoulders are rounding. So in this high lunge, keep the heel of your left foot lifted. Take a deep breath as you look forward. Now entering a wide version of pyramid pose, exhale, scissor your right outer hip back and straightening your right leg, bow inside of it with a feeling of a flat back. I'm just pausing here for a couple of breaths. So in pyramid posture, think of lifting your right kneecap. You want to flex the muscle of your right quadricep. Draw your sternum forward, open your throat. Now on your next inhale, rebend your right knee, spinning your left heel down. Keep your right hand inside of your right leg, and then raise your left arm to the sky, entering side angle pose. So this is a hip opening posture, so feel that your right glute and outer hip are rotating under your body, and you're directing your tailbone to lengthen towards your left outer heel. And as you raise your left arm, can you lighten the weight of your right hand, spiraling your chest open towards the sky? From side angle, take another inhale and rotate your left tricep to face your left while sweeping the arm overhead towards the front of the room in extended side angle. Keep drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Let's take another breath in. And as you exhale, lower your left hand where it was earlier on the floor or on a block. Lift the left heel, coming back to a high lunge, but spiral your chest to the right into a spinal twist. So right arm rises to the sky. Can you feel your hips square here? So drop the right hip and press your left heel back for one more breath. Then lower your hands to the floor, entering plank pose, top of a push-up. Now listen carefully, this is a bit different from plank. With an exhale, glide forward and just bend your elbows to lower 2 inches. So halfway towards chaturanga. Inhale, press up through plank. Exhale, lift your hips again, downward facing dog. Let's take a lion's breath. Inhale deeply. Stick out your tongue, open the mouth wide, let it go. And then closing the lips again, side 2. Inhale, turn out your left thigh at the hip. Flexing the foot, cross that ankle over your right thigh, figure 4, downward dog. Let's pause and breathe here. So imagine that your two hands are evenly pushing the mat forward and down into the earth, so you can feel that contrast of your hips lifting up and back. Take another inhale. As you exhale, bend your left knee to your left tricep, stepping the left foot forward into a high lunge. So both hands are inside of the leg. Now, feel free to grab your blocks for your hands here. Inhale in lizard lunge, drawing your chest forward. Then exhale into pyramid pose, straightening the left leg as you extend your sternum forward to bow inside of it. So with a slight contraction of the front muscle of your left thigh, help to support the back muscle of your left thigh. Next inhale, rebend your left knee, spin the right heel down and raise your right arm to the sky in side angle pose. So notice here that your left knee is not buckling in. It continues to point forward as you nudge left thigh and left upper arm against each other. Roll your left sitting bone under, and let's take another breath. Extended side angle. Spiral your right tricep to face your right wall and raise the right arm overhead. Find length here from right fingertips down right side body to the outer right heel. Lower the right hand, come back to a high lunge. Inhale here. Then spiral your chest to the left in a twist. Raise your left arm high. So notice as you're twisting your torso to face left. Note that your pelvis remains square. It's not twisting with you. So let's take another breath. Exhale down to plank pose, top of a push-up. So pause and plank. Feel the strong line of energy from crown to inner heels. Take that line with you as you exhale forward to lower 2 inches towards the ground. Hug the elbows to your sides. Inhale, press up, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, let's take 3 slow Ujjayi breaths. Now setting the pace that you can listen to that will connect 1 breath each movement in this vinyasa flow. Here we go. Inhale, turn out your right thigh. Figure 4, downward dog. Exhale, tap right knee to right tricep. Step forward, high lizard lunge. Maybe hands on blocks. Inhale, spin the left heel down. Lengthen the chest forward and straighten the right leg. Exhale, fold inside of the right leg, pyramid pose. This time, inhale, bend the right knee, spin the left heel down, left arm up, side angle. Exhale, extended side angle, left arm overhead. Inhale, back to a high lunge, left hand lowers. Exhale, twist in the lunge, right arm to the sky. Inhale, step into plank pose. Exhale, forward to lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Side 2. Inhale, turn out the left leg, figure 4, downward dog. Exhale, tap left knee to left tricep, step it forward, high lizard lunge. Maybe use blocks. Inhale, draw your chest forward and straighten your left leg for pyramid. Exhale, fold in pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend the left knee, side angle, right heel down, right arm to the sky. Exhale, extended side angle, sweep the right arm overhead. Inhale, back to a high lunge. Exhale, twist to the left, left arm up. Inhale, step into plank pose. Exhale, shift forward, lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths before one more cycle of the sequence. So now you've had a taste of synchronizing movement to breath in that flow. See if you can get more into the breath and body connection, less of the thinking mind, and really find that felt sense experience. Here we go. Inhale, turn out right thigh, figure 4, downward dog. Exhale, tap right knee, right tricep, step into lizard lunge. Inhale, straighten the right leg, draw the heart forward. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend the right knee, side angle, left heel down, left arm up. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, high lunge, left hand down. Exhale, twist to the right, right arm up. Inhale, step into plank. Exhale, shift forward, lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog, side 2. Inhale, turn out left leg, figure 4, downward dog. Exhale, tap left knee, left tricep. Step into lizard lunge. Inhale, straighten the left leg, draw your chest forward. Exhale, fold in pyramid pose. Inhale, bend the left knee, side angle pose, right heel down, right arm up. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Inhale, step into plank. Exhale, forward to lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up, lifting the navel. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, please walk your hands back towards your feet, folding over your legs at the rear of your mat. With your feet hips width apart, parallel, let's move into Padahastasana, lifting your toes, slipping your palms face up under the soles of your feet, stepping on your hands. Stretching the outer wrists and the back body here. Inhale, lift your heart and lengthen your spine forward. Draw your shoulders back. Keep shifting your weight towards the front of your heels, and exhale, bow in, drop your head. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, lengthen forward. Keep shifting your weight forward. And exhale, full. Let's take 3 breaths. Maybe fluttering your lips or shaking your head. Try to lift your shoulders up away from your neck. Slip the palms out from underneath, pressing your shins or the ground. Inhale, rise forward, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, tracing your midline into mountain pose. Let's walk up to the top of your mat and take 3 cycles of Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. 1 breath, each movement, go at your pace. So arms by your sides. Inhale, raise your arms, palms touch, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Either step into plank to lower or float back into chaturanga. Lower into cobra or coil into upward facing dog. With the exhale, lift your hips back to downward facing dog. So on your own, pause here for 3 to 5 breaths, slowing your breath down and rebalancing it. And as you feel ready to move on, take 2 more Surya Namaskar A's at your own pace. The inhales to rise and the exhales to lower. Keep going. Using the repetition to invite a flow mental state. taking your time at your pace. Let's meet in downward facing dog, finishing the round that you're on. Feel your breath in, fine-tuning that soft whispering sound. We can hear a smooth transition from inhale to exhale and back to inhale. And then from here, imagine you have a yoga block by the skinniest width that you're hugging firmly between your thighs. Can you create that hugging in feeling in your outer hips? Draw your navel towards your spine, wrap your triceps towards the ground, and plug your shoulder blades onto your back ribs. On your next inhale, glide forward into plank pose and take a few breaths to really establish that strong center line from crown, tailbone to inner heels. In plank, shoulders right on top of wrists. Gaze on the floor ahead and lifting from the inseam of your right leg, lift your right flexed foot just a few inches off the ground so your heel is about the height of your right hip. Breathe here. Option to lower the left knee to the ground for more support. Another option to slowly lift the left arm like you're about to shake someone's hand in front of you so the upper arm lines up with your left ear. Keep hugging the imaginary block between your thighs. Keep breathing. Setting your left palm down, right toes down. Exhale to downward facing dog. Lion's breath. Inhale deeply. Stick out your tongue. Release. And then closing the lips, stream the breath through the nose again. Here we go. Hug the imaginary block between your thighs. Inhale forward into plank pose. Pause and breathe here as you lift navel towards spine and look on the floor ahead. Shoulder blades stable onto your back ribs. Now flexing your left foot, lift from the inseam of your leg, left foot hovering just a few inches off the ground. Pay attention to your breathing. Now option to lower right knee for more support, or to play with lifting the right arm, upper arm alongside your ear. 3 more breaths. Set your right hand down, left foot down, downward facing dog. Let's separate the feet wider than hips width apart on your mat. And then walk your hands towards your feet another 5 inches or more so that left hand stays down as you cross the right hand to catch your outer left calf or ankle, spiraling the chest to the left in a twist. So drawing your right hip towards your rear wall, try to keep your hips balanced, and then relax your neck. 2 more breaths. Then setting your right hand down in front, cross the left hand outside of your right calf or ankle, twisting to your right as you send the left hip back, and letting your head fall. And then from here, place your palms each on blocks. So blocks on their lowest height, most stable. Hands are still closer to your feet here, but bring your feet together to touch in this shorter stance of downward facing dog. Roll your triceps towards the ground. Bend your knees deeply and lift your heels and hips high while looking 2 feet ahead of the blocks on the ground. So picture this before even trying. We'll take a deep breath. You'll empty the breath. Holding your breath out, you'll lift the pelvic floor, draw the navel in and up, and maybe take 1 swoop of your legs through your arms to land sitting with legs in front of you. Or you take a few bunny hops and then you bend your knees to lower your pelvis. See what's available here. Take a deep breath. Empty it completely. As you hold it out, lift your pelvic floor. That's Mula Bandha. Draw navel in and up. Uddiyana Bandha. Look past the blocks. And see if you can land lightly. Nice. Once you've landed, bend your knees, lift your feet off the floor, coming into boat pose. Catch hold of the backs of your thighs and kick your legs towards straight as you pull your thighs towards your belly. And use that to lift your spine more upright, relaxing your shoulders. So feet are together, knees are together. And then from here, maybe straighten the arms forward, or not. Maybe straighten the legs forward. So let's play a bit here. A little playful flow. Inhale, sit up tall and boat. Exhale, rock back like plow pose. And then inhale, back to boat. And try that a few times on your own. Maybe 3 rounds. Inhale and boats. Exhale, roll back. And then inhale, catch yourself in boats. And we'll all meet in boat pose. Nice. And once you're back in boat, with your blocks framing your hips, plant your hands on the blocks again. Cross the right ankle over the left ankle, flexing your feet. And think of lifting your pelvic floor as you empty the breath, pressing your palms down to see if maybe the pelvis will lift off the ground. Holding it there, and then coming down. And then we'll switch. Left ankle over right ankle. Inhale. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Lift the pelvic floor. Maybe lift the pelvis. Maybe straighten the legs. And then we'll come back down to sit. Nice. Coming into Dandasana, stick pose. Plant your hands just alongside your hips for 3 restabilizing breaths. In and out through the nose. So entering our cooling half of this physical practice, the yin yoga parts. Invite you to join me in inverted tabletop pose, just to open up the fronts of the hips, the hip flexors. So place your hands behind your pelvis. You can have your fingertips facing your glutes or facing your rear wall here. And then bend your knees, set your feet on the ground, parallel, hips distance apart. As you press down through your feet and your palms, you'll lift the pelvis up as you breathe in and lengthen your tailbone forward, creating a tabletop so that your torso is parallel to the ground and your shoulders stack over your wrists, knees stack over the ankles, and then you tilt your chin back, but draw the shoulder blades down your back. And try that for 3 to 5 breaths holding. And then when you're ready, coming back down to sit. And as you come back down to sit, you may want to circle out your hands for a moment. Just give your wrists a little stretch, a little movement. You've got the same posture or variations of it twice more for 5 or more breaths. So this time, turn your fingertips in the opposite direction. If they were facing the rear wall, let them face your pelvis. You might find different sensations in your wrists or your shoulders. And either come back into that tabletop with knees bent, or inverted plank pose, or Parsvottanasana, in which you straighten your legs, you bring the feet close together, maybe they touch, and you press the soles of your feet entirely on the ground, contracting the hamstrings to lift your pelvis. And then lean the head back as you draw the shoulder blades down the back. So take your choice with knees bent or legs straight for 5 or more breaths, your count. once you've come back to sit in stick pose, just let your heels of your palms press forward as you use one hand to press your palm so that your fingertips point towards your face, stretching your inner wrist, inner forearm. And then after a few breaths of that, switch hands. And then take your last version of either inverted tabletop or inverted plank. And this time, just choose which direction to point your fingertips. 5 or more breaths. And once you come down to sit, bring the outer sides of your wrists and palms together, sort of like a reverse prayer pose, but the palms are facing your outsides. And then drop your shoulders here, stretching your outer wrists, outer forearms. And then find a comfortable seat upright. We'll give our neck a little bit of release as well. Extending your right arm out to your right side, like you're saying stop flexing at the wrist. Use your left hand to just gently encourage left ear to fall onto left shoulder. So left palm is resting on the right side of your skull. And then consciously drop your shoulders down away from your neck. But can you lift your lower back and anchor your sitting bones? So we're not slumping into the lower back here. There's a light engagement of the abdomen. Keeping your left hand where it is, start to turn your gaze downward towards your left thigh. Visualize the area on the right back side of your neck. And perhaps imagine your breath entering that area like a river flowing down into the inner edge of your right shoulder blade and off the top of your right shoulder out to your right arm, right wrist. Again, keeping your left hand where it is, slowly turn your head to look up. And this time you might visualize your breath, again like a river, traveling from your right ear, tracing your right side of your jaw, down the right front side of your neck, to your right collarbone. As you finish this breath, release your right arm and lift your spine upright. Let's take a moment to roll out the shoulders. 3 breaths. Inhale, circle your shoulders forward and up. Exhale your shoulders back and down. Keep going. So side 2, extend your left arm out to the left. Palm is like it's saying stop. And then place your right hand on the left side of your skull to gently drop right ear towards right shoulder. And then melt your shoulders downward as you feel your pelvis pressing the surface below. Lift your spine from the bottom up. And notice any expression on your face here. You allow your tongue to soften, your eyebrows to soften. You keep that natural weight of your right hand on the left side of your head as you slowly turn your head to look down towards your right thigh. And maybe here you visualize your breath streaming down the left side of your neck, down the back of your neck, to your inner left shoulder blade, and out through the top of your left shoulder, through your left arm, heel of your left palm. Keeping that easy flow of your breath, slowly turn your gaze upwards, gently moving your head. And then here, perhaps imagining the breath traveling down the left side of your jaw, from the back of your left ear, down the left side and front side of your neck, through your throat, and out through your collarbone. Just take one more breath. And then gently release that. So as we're sitting here, you may want to grab something to sit on before we move into a few more yin postures. I like to guide us through some breath work. Durga Pranayama is great for just really feeling the full length of the breath, very calming for the nervous system, and just helping to have a clear sense of flow, inward breath and energy flow. So with that, just place your hands on the lowest part of your torso. That's the lower belly area, the lowest side of your waist, your lower back, your sacrum. Just feel that first portion of your torso. Now place your hands anywhere to feel that area, and then take a deep breath into that portion of your torso, down to the pelvic floor. Hold the breath in and feel that expansion in your low torso. And when you're ready, exhale slowly, and then feel that area soften inward. Now the second part of the torso, the mid portion, is your side ribs, the back ribs all around. And just feel into this middle part of your torso and place your hands anywhere you like to feel it most. And then take a full inhale into that mid torso. Hold your breath in. Just feel that expansiveness there as you relax the shoulders, sitting tall. Empty the breath slowly when you're ready. And feel how the ribcage softens. And now let's find the uppermost part of your torso, from your chest, collarbones, your throat, your shoulders, your upper back, your shoulder blades. Just feel into that area, your armpits. So place your hands wherever you can most feel this upper torso, and then take a deep breath into it. Holding your breath without tensing until you're ready to let it go slowly. And just feel how this part of your torso responds to the exhale. So tuning into subtleties. Now we'll divide the in-breath into the 3 parts. The first part will be the lowest torso, second part mid, third part upper. Then we'll hold the breath in at the top for a few seconds. Then we'll exhale everything out and hold the breath at the bottom for a few seconds. So that's one cycle. Let's try a few cycles together and then take a couple on your own after that. So feel free to place your hands where it can help you delineate those 3 parts. I like to place one hand on the chest, one hand on the lower belly. Sit tall, relax the shoulders, maybe close your eyes, and take a deep breath just to clear out. Hold your breath out. Low torso, inhale 1/3. Pause. Mid torso, inhale 1/3. Pause. Upper torso, inhale 1/3. Hold your breath. Notice what this feels like here. And slowly empty your breath. Hold it out. Feel that. Again, low torso, inhale. Mid, inhale. Upper, inhale. Hold. Slowly let it go. Hold. One more together. Low, inhale. Mid, inhale. Upper, inhale. Hold. Slowly let it go. Hold. Try 2 more cycles on your own. Just taking your time at your own pace when you finish. Let go of controlling the breath and just observe any effect of that breathing technique. So now just allow yourself to breathe naturally. We're going to transition into Supta Virasana, supine hero's pose, more of a restorative yoga posture. You may want to have a couple of blocks or a pillow behind you that you can place sort of like this, tracing the midline of the rear half of your mat to lie back into. The blocks, you can set them up high block for the back of your head, medium block for underneath the shoulder blades. Now, hero's pose is where you're sitting on your calves like this. If you need some support for the knees and they don't like to bend that deeply, grab something like a folded blanket to put in between your ankles so that you can sit on that elevated prop. Make sure that your toes are pointing back. Your feet are not turned out. It's to keep your knees safe. And the knees are no wider apart than your hips distance. Now, if you feel that it's fine to sit on your calves, you might also explore moving the calves out to the sides a bit so that you can sit on the ground in between your ankles. Feel your pinky toenails pressing the floor here. That helps to ensure safe alignment for your knees. And then just notice how this feels. You can place your hands slightly behind your hips. Think of lengthening your lower back. So visualize drawing your tailbone downward and even slightly forward, especially if you start to explore leaning your torso back. Breath by breath. Now just feel into the sensations, especially in your knees. And let those sensations guide you into a balanced relationship between effort and letting go. In fact, let it be even more about letting go. So once you've positioned your body to the range that's available to you, you just settle in there. Now, if the blocks behind you are too low to lean back into, you might have other props around like a pillow or blanket to make them even higher. Or you don't lean back, and that's fine. But if you are leaning back, keep lengthening your tailbone down and forward to avoid any compression of your lower back. You can either press your hands onto your hip flexors, just below your frontal hip bones, and just gently press forward so that you're trying to create more space here at your hip flexors. You might feel space created in your lower back as you do that. Another option with your arms is to raise them overhead if you're completely leaning back, and this will just help feel openness in the sides of your torso. And then you can hold opposite elbows and just let the arms drop behind you. Ensure the shoulders release down away from your neck. So in whatever range or variation of Supta Virasana you're in, I'm going to set the timer here for 1 minute more. So now just settle into stillness, being observant of any subtleties that arise within this stillness. Subtleties like sensations coming and going, or a slight shift in your breath quality. So taking your time, give yourself a few breaths to come out of this position. Use your hands to press the ground and slowly lift your torso if you're leaning back. And we'll come into stick pose again, just straightening the legs in front of you. You might even use your hands to just gently massage your knees here, releasing space in the backs of your knees. Then we'll move the blocks or any props that you were leaning back into. We'll move them off to the side, but make sure you have a strap that's reachable when you're lying on your back. Come on down to your back. Bend your right knee into your chest. Just start to move out your right foot here. You can circle it in both directions. You can point and flex your right foot. Just loosening up your ankle. You might also be stretching your calf and your shin. Now taking your strap, step the ball of your right foot either into the loop or center of your strap. As you straighten your right leg up towards the sky, hold the strap in your left hand. Now to help open up the IT band, the outer right thigh region here, outer glute region, sickle your right foot. So from the ankle, turn the sole of your right foot to face your left wall. Slide your pelvis maybe another 3 or so inches towards the right edge of your mat, preparing for a twist. And open your right arm wide, flat on the floor, so right shoulder stays on the ground here. As you breathe, just start to cross your right leg to your left, maybe pausing 1/3 of the range at a time, just to feel any difference in that third. All the while, send your right outer hip away from your torso, just a slight shift of the right outer hip towards the front edge of your mat. And as you continue to explore your range of this spinal twist, you might bend your left knee, slide your left heel towards your glutes, and see if you can catch hold of the top of your left foot with your right hand. And if you do have it, bring the heel even closer to your left glute, helping to open up your left quadriceps some more. Make sure that your right shoulder stays on the ground. You might even like to turn your gaze past it, and that you continue to shift your right outer hip forward towards the front edge of your mat. Now, if you're not able to reach hold of your left foot, don't worry about it. You can keep the left leg extended forward. There's plenty happening already. Now trace the next cycle of your breath, just a natural breath. And as you finish the exhale, roll onto your back, straightening both legs or the left leg, and then just removing the strap to switch sides. So center your pelvis at the midline of your mat and bend your left knee into your chest. And just pause here, hugging the left thigh in, giving your left foot some movement at the ankle. Then take your strap to loop around the ball of your left foot. Extend your left leg vertically, holding the strap in your right hand. As your left arm opens out to the left on the floor, keep the shoulder down, but scoot your hips maybe 3 inches or more towards the left edge of your mat. Sickling your left foot, turn the sole to face your right wall, and 1/3 at a time, begin to twist to your right. You might be looking past your left shoulder here. Now also send your left outer hip forward, shifting it slightly away from your torso towards the front edge of your mat to help traction your lower spine. And if you did so on the first side, you might explore bending your right knee, using your left hand to catch hold of the top of your right foot, and bringing your right heel closer to your right glute while regrounding your left shoulder and resending left hip towards the front of your mat. And again, if it's not available, let it go. Focus on the integrity of your twist. Allowing your breath to stay natural. Trace the next cycle in and out. And at the very end of it, unwind from your twist. Coming into happy baby pose, or hugging your bent knees into your chest. Just lift your legs up towards the sky so your body is shaped like a capital L. Raise your arms though, and just give your legs and arms a very loose shake. Take a deep inhale to your nose, still shaking. Stick out your tongue, open your eyes and mouth wide. Any sound, let it go. One more time, inhale. And then drop your limbs to splay out on the floor. Setting your body up for a few minutes of stillness in Shavasana. Closing your eyes. Staying aware here. If you'd like to join me for our 10 minutes of meditation, you might like to keep your eyes closed, but begin to move your body. Very simple, gentle movement or stretch. Taking your time, find your way up into a comfortable seat for meditation. A position that allows you to feel anchored literally to the surface below, as well as open, especially in your heart space, upright, tall to your spine, while relaxed. A couple of mudras you might place your hands in. One to help concentrate is to bring the thumb and index finger to touch. Dhyana mudra. Another one, which is more neutral, is to stack the palms face up at the center of your lap, thumbs touching. And then choose to either leave your eyes open, but steadying your gaze softly on one spot, or close your eyes. Now, this practice is divided into 3 stages of moving from a more moving towards a subtler awareness. So the first 3 minutes of this meditation, I invite you to just breathe naturally and to count the cycles of your breath up to 10. Once you get to 10, you count again from 1. And if you lose count, just start back at 1. And 1 cycle includes an inhale and an exhale. So counting breaths of 10 for 3 minutes. And now the next 3 minutes, letting go of counting your breath, but just feeling your breath in a particular area of your body. Maybe it's your chest, maybe it's at your nostrils, maybe it's at your stomach. So choose one spot to pay attention to. And you're simply feeling your breath come and go there. And if your attention wanders away from that, just bring it back to that spot in your body, however many times you need to bring it back. Remember that as part of the practice. Now for the last 3 minutes, we transition to something more subtle to pay attention to. Choose to pay attention to either your pulse. You might feel that at the center of your chest, ever so subtle, or to a feeling state. Just observing your own feeling state right now. That's an emotional, mental state of you sitting here. And whatever thoughts arise about that, just let them sail on through, be what they are. You're simply just being aware of your feeling state as you're sitting here now. through the various practices of yoga, from the physical postures to the more subtle practices, transitioning from skillfully directing your breath to sitting in observance of something so subtle within you. Over time, through consistent practice, we develop a finer attunement to our subtle layers of being. Thank you for joining me in this practice. Let's join the palms to meet at the heart, bowing into close. Chanting one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.